welcome to my channel. I'm Georgie, pleased to meet you. Today we're going to go over Sun Salutation A. Sun Salutation A is a really important part of your practice, and it's also really important to do it properly so that you don't injure yourself. Sun Salutation A makes a great warm-up. It uses all of the muscles in your body, it gets you nice and stretched quite easily, and it brings a lot of heat into the body, which means if you are doing a lot of stretching poses, then you already have that warmth, so you don't injure yourself as easily. It's really important if you're playing or if you're doing an Ashtanga practice. There are a lot of Sun Salutations, and it's also great for transitioning between poses. If you're going from a standing pose to a seated position, lying on your back, lying on your front, or if you're going from one of those positions into standing, chances are you're going to do a vinyasa or a part of the Sun Salutation A sequence to get you into those positions. Sometimes I like just to do a practice of Sun Salutations. It is a really beautiful, really empowering and strengthening sequence to do. So let's begin. To begin Sun Salutation A, we need to come to the front of the mat. You can either have your feet hips width apart, or you can have your feet together, big toes touching. From here, we're going to roll our shoulders down and back. Our palms are going to be facing forward. Now by doing this, we're going to create strength in the shoulder girdle across the top of the back. This can be really important for some of the postures later on. We're going to slightly tuck our pelvis under. This will help create a neutral position with the spine. It will help protect the back and the core. And then with our chin, we're going to tug it slightly down and slightly back. This will help create length in the top part of the spine. So if you are using Sun Salutations at the beginning of your practice, or they are the entirety of your practice, this is a really good moment to ground down. It's a good time to set an intention for your practice. It's a really good time to just breathe here, arrive in your body, let those troubles go. From here, we're going to bring our inhale and bring our arms together above the head. We're going to look to the thumbs. From here, we're going to engage the core, bend forward from the hips, bending our knees as we go. This takes a lot of the tension and the pressure from the hamstrings. We want to get our belly to our thighs. The aim, believe it or not, is not to get the head to the shins or to the knees and really force it, because that is just going to create an awful lot of discomfort in those hamstrings and risk injury. The aim is to get the belly to the thighs. So if you can get your head to your shins, but your belly is nowhere near your thighs because you're curving over, then you are risking injury. So just bend those knees, make sure that belly is touching those thighs, your hands are on the floor. Then from here, we're going to inhale, engaging the core, lifting up slightly, straightening those legs. Hands are going to come to our shins for support, and we're going to look forward. Again, those shoulders are going to be down and back. We're going to have that strength across the top here. And then as we exhale, we're going to bend the knees again. Hands are going to come back down to the ground, and we're going to step into a plank pose. Now in plank pose, you want to have your feet, your heels pushing away from you. From here, we're going to drop our knees to the ground, untuck those back toes, and lower our chest until we come to laying on our front. From here, hands should be under our shoulders. We're going to inhale to a baby cobra. Now, if we engage our back muscles, we help create not only stronger muscles, but more support so we don't injure ourselves. We're also going to make sure those shoulders are down and back. This means that the heart and the chest can come forward. By having the heart and chest coming forward, it means the pressure of the curve is evenly distributed through the back instead of just being dumped into the lower back, again risking injury. And then on the exhale, we're going to tuck our back toes under. We're going to lift ourselves up through a child's pose and press to downward facing dog, bending those knees if you're feeling any stress or tension in the hamstrings. Our shoulders are going to be down and back. We're going to have nice strong shoulder girdle. Our head is going to be nice and loose. Engaging the core, lifting the hips up and back away from you so that you have length in the spine. Inhale deeply and exhale.
Traditionally, you would take 5 deep breaths. Here, we're just going to take a few and release. On the next inhale, look to the front of your mat and then step forward with the same foot that you stepped back with. We're going to bring our hands to our shins and look forward. On the exhale, we're going to bend those knees, putting that belly onto the thighs, hands onto the floor. On the inhale, really engage that core, lifting up through the hips, making sure that spine is nice and long, straightening those legs, bringing those arms together above your head again, looking up at those thumbs. Exhaling, bringing those palms, that prayer to heart center, and release. So let's do that together in real time. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, hands to shins, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step back and lower. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in and release. And again. And release. Last time, inhale deeply and release. From here, look forward to the front of the mat, step forward, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, bringing the arms to prayer above the head. Exhale to heart center and release. So from here, we're going to now have a go at a classic sun salutation. So inhale, arms up just like before, looking at those thumbs. Some people like to take a slight back bend in this position. If that is comfortable for you, feel free to do so. Then we're going to exhale, forward fold, exactly the same as before, keeping that spine nice and long, the shoulders away from the ears, but this time we're going to have legs nice and straight. Now, as you can see, my belly is nowhere near my thighs, so in my practice, I would have my knees bent, but for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to have my legs straight. From here, we're going to inhale, fingertips stay on the ground, and we're going to look forward. On the exhale, we're going to bend our knees, hands down on the ground, because we're going to jump back into our plank pose. And then we're going to come forward onto our tiptoes, so that when we lower down to a chaturanga, our elbows should be at a 90-degree angle or more. Then we're going to roll onto the tops of our feet, drop our hips down, lift our chest up, bring those shoulders down and back for an upward facing dog. You can look up to the sky if that's comfortable for you. Then on the exhale, we're going to roll over on those toes and press back into a downward facing dog. The aim is to get those heels down onto the ground. If you can't, please don't feel self-conscious. Please don't feel like you're doing it wrong. It's just your body. My heels don't come down because I know I don't have the length, the mobility and the flexibility in my hamstrings. I've accepted this. And just breathe. Inhale and exhale. One more. And exhale. On the inhale, bend the knees, look forward, jump to the front of the mat, come to that flat back position. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, engage that core, lift up from the hips, spine nice and long, bringing those arms together above the head. Exhale the hands to heart center and release. So let's do that again in real time. Inhale, bringing the palms together above the head, looking at the thumbs. Exhale, forward, fold straight legs. Inhale, fingertips on the floor, flat back. Exhale to plank, lower to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press to downward facing dog. Deep breath here. And exhale. And again. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale.
Inhale, bend the knees, look to the front of the mat, jump forward, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, engage the core, come up to standing, palms above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. And release. So as you can see, there's plenty of opportunities to bring in some of those modifications. So if you have weak wrists, or you don't have a lot of strength in your arms or the shoulder girdle, then lowering down into that chaturanga position, where those shoulders and the elbows are a 90-degree angle, might not be advisable for you. So I would take the lowering the knees and the chest separately. If, like me, you have tight hamstrings, then obviously bend your knees if you need to. So let's have a quick look at how we can use the sequence to go from standing down to on the floor and then back up again. So as always, coming to the front of the mat, feet ground into the earth, rolling the shoulders down and back, palms forward. Inhale, taking your palms above the head. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, coming to that flat back. Exhale, jump, and out whichever lowering position you would like to take. Simply lower yourself to the floor. Now, if you're doing any back bends, then this is the position that you need to be in. Obviously, to come back into that position so you're able to come to a standing sequence, simply press back into your child's pose. Then from here, you can tuck your toes under and press back into a downward facing dog. Now, you can do this from a cat-cow position. There's plenty of opportunities. Now, if you were to follow the flow so that you came to your downward facing dog as normal, this is how you would transition into coming onto a seated position or laying on your back. So if you have the strength, then you can jump your feet through your hands with your body in like an L shape and straight into a sitting position. Now, I no way have the strength to be able to do that. So what I do is I roll forward, I bring my opposite feet behind my hands, my legs will be crossed, and then engage the core, and with control, lower yourself into a seated position. And then obviously from here, your seated postures or coming to lying on your back. And then to come back to a standing position, simply repeat the process. So roll forward, hands on the ground, uncross the legs, tuck the toes, press back to downward facing dog. Obviously walk it out so that you're in the correct position. Take as many breaths here as you would like before coming back to the front of the mat, looking forward, exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, bringing the arms above the head. Exhale to heart center, and there you have it. So through this video, we have looked at modified versions, we have looked at a classic version, and we have looked at ways that you can transition using this sequence. I love Sun Salutations. I sometimes do them as a practice completely by themselves. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And if you would like to follow more videos, then hit the subscription button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.